The Four Stories Cultivating My Passion for Language, written and read by Dr. Layla Al-Ghalban. When I decided to go into linguistics, it was a response to many memorable situations in which I came face to face with language wonders. Here are some. First story. Blah, blah, blah. The passion for understanding language has steered me as early as I was a preschool child. I realized that every time I got to nearby shops to buy stuff for mom, on my way, I used to stop to watch how grown-ups talk to one another. That was an amazing hug at the time. I would listen and listen and listen, and all what I could understand were a couple of formula-like structures, usually greetings and goodbyes, no more, no less. Just blah, blah, blah. The rest never made sense to me, a sheer disappointing outcome. Linguistics resolved this puzzle for me later on. I didn't understand their speech because language processing is the result of an incredible mix of two mechanisms. Bottom-up processing, which takes in the visual and oral linguistic stimuli and turn them into sensory information our brain can cope with. Our senses are the interface between our brains and the external world. So when we hear someone speaking, our ears turn speech waves into electrical signals and send them through our sensory nerves to the brain. Our brains are huge labs and incredible archives of memories, expectations, biases, background knowledge, and word experience, all of which are called our mental models or top-down processing tools. Word data are filtered and an instant match takes place between them and what are stored in our brains. If a match happens, we understand. If not, we do not. Thus, adult speech was blah 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 because I didn't have a mental copy of their speech in my head to match with. As my language development was in progress then, this is similar to listening to a foreign language. It sounds like mere noise in the absence of background knowledge or previous background experience with the language, which you could create mental models for its sounds, words, and grammar. Second story, language variation. Another reason that really attracted me to language at this early age was the language of my uncle. It teemed with striking vocabulary and structures not found in my parents. Later on, I came to understand that this is language variation, and it results from the variation in educational background, occupation, gender, age, and every individual's social networks. I also made a connection between people's dialect and social acceptability. Third story, in search of the right grammatical gender. A third situation was exceptionally provocative. I noticed at a very young age that male singers address women with male form in Egyptian love songs, as if women were men. It didn't make sense to me. I didn't know that this is an indirect way, possibly justified by traditions, which see talking about women openly is not favorable. And ever since, I have been intrigued by the heavily gendered languages, like Arabic. Fourth story, bass and falsetto. The fourth situation was really fascinating. My parents used to have a special attachment to the radio. It was their additional sense to the world. Their favorite Al-Quran Al-Kareem station was on most of the time. What intrigued me was the incredible voice pitch shifts Quran reciters make especially between bass, the low pitch, and falsetto, the high pitch. At the time, I didn't realize that there are possible shifts within the pitch range of every reciter and every individual. Interestingly, I thought that there were two reciters, one reading aloud in high pitch and the second in a low, deep pitch. Ever since, I have cultivated a special interest in vocal variations, voice types, rhythm, intonation, etc. Finally, language love is inherent in us, and everyone can recount incidents and situations that give a glimpse into how this love impressively runs deep. Thank you.